Vecna is one of the most celebrated characters among the ensemble in Stranger Things, but the show's best villain was in an earlier season. Stranger Things is one of the rare TV shows that not only benefits from iconic leads like Hopper and Eleven but also has an extensive cast of compelling supporting players. Between the show's 4 seasons, there's a plethora of well-defined, unforgettable characters, but only a select few that could be classified as villains. With Stranger Things Season 5 on the way, now is the perfect time to discuss. Stranger Things Season 4 is one of the most viewed Netflix shows of all time, and there's a reason why it was such a massive success with audiences. Season 4 expanded the fantastical world of the Duffer Brothers series in a profound way, with the backstory and ultimate conflict with Vecna being one of the most moving storylines in the entire saga, fusing much of the show's narrative together. Jamie Campbell Bower was fantastic as Vecna, both as the human Henry Creel and the humanoid creature aligned with the Upside Down. Billy is Stranger Things' best villain. Billy Hargrove is much more human than Vecna. Steve Harrington was the arrogant, popular high school kid of Stranger Things Season 1, but he turned out to have a heart of gold and became a beloved fan favorite. When actor Dacre Montgomery was brought onto the show in Season 2 as Billy Hargrove, it seemed like it could tread much of the same ground. Billy's abusive relationship with Max jumps out at the start, with him also proving to be a racist bully throughout his time. All of these negative qualities made him perfectly susceptible to the Mind Flayer. While Henry Creel's backstory demonstrates something of a sympathetic upbringing for Vecna, the quintessential difference with Billy is that we get to see the latter as an everyday human functioning in society before the darker turn. We see Billy for all his faults, and he truly has a terrible streak of actions that could make audiences hate him on their own. However, Stranger Things challenges the audience to sympathize with Billy, revealing his trauma and the upbringing that shaped him into the young man he was becoming. Unlike Vecna, whose character is inherently evil, Billy isn't just a senseless, emotionless monster, he's a real person. Both types of characters work as compelling villains, but Dacre Montgomery's performance allowed Billy to demonstrate shades of humanity, showing that he had the potential to be good. This makes his acts of unpredictable anger and villainy all the more powerful. Billy being such a great villain is what makes his redemption so complicated after his death. It's still hard to process Billy's impact on the show. Max sat at Billy's grave in Stranger Things. To take Billy Hargrove and then have him manipulated and ultimately destroyed by a horrific creature is devastating in a way. Sure, he was awful, but he was also just a kid. That doesn't excuse his actions, but Stranger Things makes a point to suggest that he could have changed, that he could have been a better man. Instead of growing up and having that opportunity, however, he died young, and what audiences and the characters in the show were left with were his horrible actions. Billy redeemed himself by sacrificing himself for the others, complicating Max's feelings after his death. Hate is a complicated emotion, but it's even more difficult when someone dies, as those poignant emotions become unresolved. Max is left to grieve for a brother who committed such morally varied actions, and it's impossible to understand how to feel in that situation. Likewise, audiences are left to form their own opinions on his life and whether there was actually hope for him. Neither opinion is correct, either, which adds to the beauty of his character, providing him a unique legacy in Stranger Things. Dacre Montgomery gave one of the best performances in all of Stranger Things. Billy Hargrove had one of the darkest arcs in the show. Billy Hargrove looking back in Stranger Things Monkey Massacre Productions and 21 Laps Entertainment. In 2 seasons, Dacre Montgomery gave one of the strongest acting stints we've had in Stranger Things. This is a show with legends like Winona Ryder, Matthew Modine, and Sean Astin, and yet young stars like Montgomery constantly find ways to flourish. Honestly, I'm shocked that the 30-year-old Australian actor hasn't found more success following his Stranger Things stint. His 2 main blockbuster roles since have been the Power Rangers reboot film and a supporting role in Elvis, but there was a moment where it seemed like he could have been one of the biggest stars in the world, with actors like Sadie Sink, Millie Bobby Brown, and Joseph Quinn launching movie star careers from this TV show. Dacre Montgomery's outstanding performance should have gotten him a little more mileage. He's one of the few younger characters who isn't primarily limited to comedic relief, and he was also allowed to play with some of the darkest material the series has had. Stranger Things has its dark moments, but it's a lighter-toned show all around. Montgomery got to play with some of the most complex writing the Duffer Brothers have delivered.